Welcome to Lunch Break with GABC. I'm your host, Ashley Mateos, coming to you live from the Carl-Schurz-Haus. For those of you who don't know, the Carl-Schurz-Haus is the German-American Institute in Freiburg, Germany. We offer a diverse cultural program, English language courses for all ages, and we have a vibrant all-English library. We are a nonprofit institute supported in part by our members. The main goal of the Carl-Schurz-Haus is to facilitate transatlantic discourse across all areas, ranging from literature to politics to business. In addition to coordinating the English language courses for adults at the Carl-Schurz-Haus and in companies, I'm also head of our German-American business community, also known as GABC. And we provide events centered around transatlantic business relations, professional development, and networking. So I would like to take this time to thank you for choosing to spend your lunch break with us. Here with me today is Kirsten Haenle of Humor Impulse and Maik Thiesling of Visual Statements, one of our GABC members. Also with us is my assistant Harriet, who will be dropping some useful links into the chat for those of you viewing via Zoom. And for anyone viewing via YouTube, we're going to upload these links later to the YouTube recording, so you'll also have access to them. We're going to first hear from Kirsten, who's going to give us some techniques for stress prevention and more energy and creativity in the workplace. And then I'm going to chat with Maik about visual statements and what it's like leading their team of creatives there. So please feel free to post any questions in the chat for Kirsten, Maik, or myself, and we'll do our best to answer them. So let's start with Kirsten.
Okay, thank you.
I have a short introduction for you. Kirsten is a mother of 4 and lives in Freiburg, Germany. She is a certified humor trainer and coach who founded her own company, Humor Impulse, in 2019. She's worked several years in sales and marketing for international companies, as well as lived and worked for about 10 years abroad in the US and the Netherlands. Kirsten is familiar with the challenges in business, and as such, she helps her customers use humor as a resource. She teaches skills such as how to portion, direct, and time the use of humor in the workplace through training, seminars, and interactive talks, which we will get a little taste of today. And so with that, I will say, take it away, Kirsten.
Thank you so much, Ashley, for this kind and warm introduction. Welcome everybody to this 10-minute humor bite. I'd like to jump in directly and share my presentation with you. Whoops. Here we go. Okay, so as Ashley said, I'm a humor trainer. And what does a humor trainer do? I enable people to use their sense of humor as an instrument in their workplace. Because humor makes life easier and more enjoyable, as we know. And I like to talk about a humor muscle training. And I have 2 messages for you. The first good one is that everyone out there can learn how to add more humor to his life. Because humor is not an unchangeable characteristic, it's a competence. And there are a bunch of humor techniques out there. The next message, take a look at this, how long, you can't imagine how long it took me to build up these humor muscles. Yeah. And the next message is, it takes time and effort to strengthen the humor muscle. Like a tennis player, imagine you have a ball, you have a racket, and you have techniques. And you have techniques, for example, how to serve, but this doesn't make you a good tennis player, right? And you need to practice. And with humor, it's exactly the same. It's a lot of trial and error, and you need to be courageous to use humor in daily life. What is humor? If you look up in a German dictionary, it says humor is a joyful attitude to life and its imperfections. So it's an attitude, right? And Karl Valentin, a Bavarian comedian who was very popular in the 1930s, he said, "I'm happy when it rains, because if I'm not happy, it'll still rain." So this is quite a useful saying for nowadays where we have so much rain. My favorite saying is, humor is the shock absorber in life. It helps us take the blows. So this means that humor softens out the bumps and it serves as a coping strategy in life. And this is actually why I became a humor trainer. Because humor, for me, usually comes easily when I feel good. But it's much harder to stay humorous in challenging situations and during conflicts. So let's take a quick look at the effects of good, social, respectful humor. First of all, it builds teams. We all know this. Good humor connects people. It improves the whole working atmosphere, also during hard times. And humor can diffuse conflicts. Humor boosts creativity because humor is a creative play with ideas. The change of perspective gets stimulated. As an example, there was an old lady approaching me on the market here in Freiburg, and she said, wow, she had a face mask, and she said, wow, Mrs. Haenle, this face mask is quite practical because I can leave my teeth at home. So what a wonderful change in perspective she used here to feel better, right? Humor increases performance because people enjoy getting involved in their jobs if they get the chance to have fun at their workplace. It sets energy free. And last but not least, humor promotes good health. Laughter promotes a good mental health and a well-being. And we all know laughter is contagious. So Paul McGee is an American. He's internationally known for his research on humor and laughter. And his main target of humor trainings is to use humor as a protective factor against personal stressful situations. So it's not to become the funniest person in the room or laugh out loud all the time. The humor trainings I do, the participants, they slightly, in a playful manner, change routines at their workplace. And they learn how to sprinkle their contents with humor in a presentation, for example, to get the attention of the audience. And there are techniques where you can improve your quick thinking, the quick-wittedness. For example, you prepared a presentation about the strategy and somebody tells you, wow, this was really boring. And you say, I know, actually, I also fell asleep while preparing it. Body language is also so important because 90% of our communication we have with our body language. And another thing is to start laughing about ourselves. This is especially sometimes important for managers and employees. So I brought 3 humor techniques for you. The first one is exaggeration. So exaggeration is to make a mountain out of a molehill. Or for example, I'm so hungry I could eat a horse. You all know exaggeration. Or another example here, I limit myself to 1 glass of wine a day. Then we have the understatement. That's more for the people who enjoy the British kind of humor, the understatement of things, playing making things little and pretending they are not as important and not as serious as they really are. Yeah. Or you have a presentation and you really can't get into the groove, and everything falls apart during your presentation. And then you leave the room and you say to your colleagues, well, that went well. So that's the understatement. Exaggeration is the volume control of humor. With exaggeration, you actually make humor recognizable for the people around you. And the same with understatement. It helps emphasize story points and emotions. And it can create distance from a problem. Now I have another technique for you, one body impulse, and I like to do this with you. I like to smile for 60 seconds. And I have here my mobile phone, and maybe I just leave the presentation. So I invite you now to smile for 1 second, okay? And I count in. And don't stop smiling. Okay, 1, 2, 3 now. Okay, smile for 1 minute. And this is a wonderful technique. You can do it when you're, for example, in the meeting and you don't feel happy and you just leave the room and go to the bathroom and do this for a minute. Or when you have don't stop everyone. I can see you is even online. And or in the car when you are angry about the red traffic lights, or now you have half a minute. Keep on doing this. And this is a wonderful technique. It's a kind of emergency technique. Okay, you're almost done. Don't stop. Okay. Now I have 15 more seconds. Maik, don't stop. Don't stop. Okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, you can stop smiling now. And I go back to my presentation. So, and actually after 45 seconds, the happy hormones are released. The dopamines, the serotonins, and the endorphins. Because our brain does not decide between a fake laugh or a real laughter. That's nice. So this is a kind of emergency humor technique. You can always, when you're not feeling well, do it now and then during the day. Then humor technique number 3 is the humorous reframe. For example, you're in a meeting and a colleague drops a glass of water. And the humorous positive reframe could be, wow, I'm really impressed how you can let go. I need to go to my weekly yoga class to learn this. So now you might think, well, I don't think I can up with something so spontaneously like that. But remember, we said humor is a training and we need to practice. Okay. So the humorous reframing releases tension immediately. And it's very important that you exaggerate a lot and that you don't lose the twinkle in the eye, that people understand. And this is a very good technique. It has a recovery effect when you have those little misfailures in life. Yes, so when you want to know more about humor, about the training of humor, I'm Kirsten Haenle. This is my website and my email address. And of course, humor is not a universal remedy, but it's a powerful resource that can support you in life. I wish you good luck and success, and don't be afraid of the donut. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that, Kirsten. I enjoyed it, and I hope that our audience did as well. I encourage our audience to visit Kirsten's website or simply reach out to her via one of her social media accounts. And yeah, thank you for that, for the smile of the day. I definitely felt it in my cheeks. And so now I would like to switch gears and talk to Maik, who is Chief of Staff for Visual Statements. So Maik has a lot of experience in marketing and communication and profound leadership experience as well, just in general. He actually started his career as an army officer, and he served in the German French Brigade and worked as a public relations officer for the Ministry of Defense. Prior to his role at Visual Statements, he worked as a CRM manager for 4 years at Hugo Boss, where he consulted European marketing managers to make the best out of CRM marketing activities. Outside of his 9 to 5, he also teaches marketing at Macromedia University and is a supporter of Über den Tellerrand, which a lot of you in Freiburg, or maybe those of you in Berlin, also know. It's an NGO that brings people with different cultural backgrounds together, usually via food. Now, as Chief of Staff at Visual Statements, he helps lead the Visual Statements team towards their respective goals. So let's jump right in, Maik. For our viewers who are unfamiliar, maybe first you can describe what Visual Statements does and also kind of a little bit more about your role.
Yes, of course I can. Thank you for the very kind introduction, Ashley. Yeah, to be honest, it's maybe not that intuitive what Visual Statements is doing and how the company makes its money. To be honest, it also took me a while to really get a full picture of the whole business model. But I think I'm now able to give you a good explanation for that. So basically, I think we can say the core or the heart of Visual Statements is our brand network, as we call it. And within our brand network, there are like 10 brands, different brands, and these are publishing content on different social media ecosystems. So for example, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, or on Pinterest. That always depends on the different brand that we manage. So there's not only Visual Statements, there are also other brands that you probably know, probably might not know. And every brand is addressing a different target group. So for example, we have a brand that is called Kreisliga Fußball, which is addressing, as the name is saying already, people who are interested in soccer. We also have a brand, for example, that is called Female Power, which addresses an audience which is interested in topics like equality and how women are part of our work environment. So, and this is basically, the brand network is the foundation for everything that we from Visual Statements are doing. So, and then there are 3 different pillars, so to say. The first one is that we have a team that is creating products for the members of our different communities who are following us, who are following the different brands. And we have on a regular basis different collections, and of course we always monitor which content is performing the best. We have a very lively community management, so we are always in touch with our members, so we know what they like, and that's of course a very good secret or formula how to create good products that people like. And then the second pillar is what we call native advertising. Native advertising is something that happens on social media, and it probably, you know, this from, I don't know, like TV or other broadcast forms, which is basically like product placement. So we give brands or other companies the opportunity to be shown, be visible in our own content, and which is a very subliminal way to get in touch with people out there. And then the third pillar, that is what we call social brand building. And so basically everything that we do, we also offer as a kind of a service for other companies. So we build up their social media brands, building up communities, managing the communication with them, and helping companies to achieve their strategical social media goals. So these are the three pillars what Visual Statements is doing.
Thank you. And I feel like that it's such a you have such a wide range then, also not just with these different brands that are working under the umbrella of Visual Statements then, but also like you mentioned with the soccer outreach, with female empowerment too. And from what I've gathered, because I also follow VS on Instagram, and then I see some TikTok videos too, and I just feel like it's just so fresh. It's modern and fun. What do you attribute that to? Like, do you work with a really young team, or what keeps it so fresh and modern?
Yeah. So I think we definitely work with a very young, modern, and creative team. For me, was really super nice joining the company. I think our age average right now is something like 27. So we have really a bunch of young creatives, and we also give them really the room to experience creativity, to also work around with humor. So I definitely think probably Kirsten could give us also some good help and advices here, because of course humor is also a big part of our communication on social media, and we always reach out for new ideas, to see new trends. That is of course also very important. And as I said, I think the success of our company also is really coming from our lively ongoing community management, that we really have an ear on our followers, on our communities, to see what they like, and that also we take this as inspirational for further content, and that's really something that is doing a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like with the Visual Statements and the various brands they're under, you're on trend, and particularly with the VS quotes, you have so much wordplay that happens. And I know right now it's mainly in the German language, but I find that really hits the German audience at a certain level as well. Do you think that's your like USP or unique selling point then for Visual Statements, this kind of wordplay, or what do you think? How do you manage to keep that?
Yeah. So I think humor is definitely one of our key success factors, I would say. Also playing around with words, but it's not only humor. It also depends a bit on the brand we are talking about right now. So we have some very, I would say, like ironical, sarcastic brands, where the focus is definitely on bittersweet humor, but we also have brands that are more about, I would say, like mindfulness and like self-love. So, and that is also a different community, different audience then, and so that's also what makes it so fun, I think, to work at Visual Statements, because the topics are so widespread, and it's also very good chance for self-development, having fun. Yeah.
And so as chief of staff, you're helping your team kind of reach these goals. Is there anything in particular that you do that you find works to, I don't know, inspire them, to keep them motivated in the workplace?
So it's not that I'm their motivational coach. Unfortunately, I think that would also be a very nice and fun job. So no, what I'm as a chief of staff I'm doing is so basically I support the top management, so our CEO and our COO. And there it's always about, I would say, like strategical development. And then I especially support in operational execution. So very lot of communication, like inside the company. So I deal with a very broad range of topics. So it's about organizational development, it's about marketing, it's about process management, human potential. I'm also trying to support our young talents so that they can grow. And so I'm really, I would say, like working in a lot of fields in our company, but more in the background. So I always try to start my work with like helping other people so that they can succeed the best. And I think if I can do that, that's in the end like my success then. So, and that's what's best for the company. So.
Right. Well, it sounds like your activities are quite diverse, just like the company itself. So are there any
Absolutely.
current, do you have any current milestones or new campaigns or perhaps job openings that you would like to share with us today?
Yeah, so there's definitely one big milestone coming up next month. So we will move to not a new office, but to another office. So we already have our office in the Schneevelinstraße, and we will now move to another new office in I don't know what is called this new business area around the main station, the central station, where Jobrad and all of these new office buildings are. You know, yeah, so we will go to another office there, and we will have like a big creator studio, a content studio, where we have like more opportunities, especially for video content. Vertical video is a big thing that we are doing, and we have even like more space for our creativities, you can say. So at the moment we are, I think, like around 70 employees, and so with the new office, we have the opportunities to even grow up to, I would say, like 100 or even more employees. So the company is, I would say, like ready to grow. So we have definitely this next milestone is also a good foundation for our future work. And another thing that's also a project we are working on right now is to like have a fourth pillar for our business model, and that is a social media academy. So we will now open up to share our knowledge, to share our skills, like with other companies, so that they can send their social media managers to us, or people who are self-employed and who want to push their social media business. So we will now build this up, and we are building up like different courses, so to say, addressing different audience groups. And we will have our first courses end of this year. And next year, we really want to push this and go out and offer, I would say, like once a month, one of our courses in our social media academy.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. Definitely keep us informed, and we'd be happy to share that news as well as courses come up and become available. So thank you so much for joining me for this interview portion. If anybody would like to learn more about visual statements or speak with Maik, I encourage you to visit their website or connect with him via LinkedIn. To wrap things up now, you can also see other GABC member updates on the GABC LinkedIn Showcase page. And on that note, I always like to bring up the subject of membership. If you like what we do and want to broaden your network while supporting your local German-American Institute, I encourage you to like, share, donate, and/or become a member with us. As a nonprofit organization, we rely on the support of our local and virtual community members. So if you're not a member yet and are interested, please visit our website, or you're welcome to send me an email. The cultural programming calendar for the Carl-Schurz-Haus for May and June has a whole bunch of events coming up, including a talk about tiny gardens on June 15th, as well as our next exhibit opening on recovery from crisis, portraits from the front lines of the opioid epidemic in America on June 21st. You can check that out on the Carl-Schurz-Haus website. As for upcoming GABC events, next Wednesday, we'll have our regular English-speaking entrepreneurs program at 3 o'clock. That's online. And then on June 28th, we're going to have an event also in connection with the IHK in Freiburg on making it in Germany. It will be a hybrid event where you can hear and learn from success and failure stories of foreign entrepreneurs trying to make it in Germany. If you're looking to improve your English skills, we also offer general and business English courses, both online and in person. And if you miss an event, please be sure to check our YouTube page for recordings. I would like to once again thank my guests. Kirsten, thank you, Maik, for joining me today. It has been highly informative, and we did it in just about 30 minutes. Thank you to all of our viewers and listeners for learning while you lunch. Our next lunch break will be August 2nd, so save the date. And I hope to see you again, either online or in person at the Carl-Schurz-Haus for our next event. So enjoy the rest of your lunch break, everyone. Have a productive day and hope to see you soon. Thank you again, Maik. Thank you again, Kirsten.
Bye.
Thanks to you. Bye-bye.
Goodbye, everyone.